Hello, second and third grade readers. So, yesterday we talked quite a bit about point of view. And sorry, I just noticed that my slideshow jumped ahead of the game. We don't need that today. So, check this out. Here I am. I looked a little better than I did right now because I got to see some of you guys today for star testing. But mostly I had kindergarten and first grade students, and whew, they wore me out. So I am tired tonight, but I wanted to hop on here for just a second to talk to you a little bit about what we're going to be looking at. So we talked about point of view. So the point of view is the view from which the story is told. So today I told you about my point of view of my day. We did star testing. That was my point of view. It could be the person who's telling the story. So that could be a character, the author, or a narrator. And so you've got to pay close attention to the story when trying to figure out whose point of view is this even coming from. And I thought long and hard about it. And I thought, oh, I know the perfect way to do this by using some of my favorite stories. But before we get there, let's look at this. Oh goodness, I don't want to hear myself. I'm already hearing myself. Oh goodness, we need to go. We need to go quick. Oh, how do we go? Here we go. Point of view. Who is telling the story? Sometimes the narrator, sometimes characters. And check this out. Characters have different thoughts and feelings. Have you ever thought about your own house? Think about all the people in your house. They all have different thoughts and feelings. Not everybody has the same thoughts and feelings. So that's the point of view. Whose eyeballs are we seeing this story through? So, first person Frida uses those pronouns. I saw this happen. Me and my friends went to the mall. We went and ate ice cream. So she is telling us the story from her point of view. Now, second person is you, your, and yourself. You did this, you and your friends did that. So we're not really going to focus, though, a whole lot on second person, but I just wanted you to know that one. Now, third person, sorry, I had to move my laptop. Third person is he, him, his, she, her, they, them. And so you're going to see that when we're talking about third person. So he did that. His house blew down. They had no houses left. You're going to see that today in our stories. I wonder who I'm talking about. So don't forget the dialogue. Now, if you have dialogue, you can cross out the dialogue and see what pronouns that they're using. Dialogue is when a character talks out loud to another character. You won't believe what happened to me last night. But sometimes the character talks to themselves, like Miss Amanda does quite a bit. So that's written in italics. Oh, I just don't know what I should do without the character actually saying that out loud. So if you check out the dialogue in the stories, and today you're going to do that, you can figure out whose point of view it is. Now, let's get to the good part. So I thought, how can we learn about point of view? And I remembered my favorite books and stories, fairy tales. So I know some of you boys just rolled your eyes at Miss Amanda, and so roll them back because there are villains in fairy tales, and we are not just going to look at one point of view. We're going to look at point of view from all over the place. Sometimes that means we have to look at the villain's point of view. So first I want you to put, what is your favorite fairy tale? Think about your favorite fairy tale. What is a fairy tale? Well, fairy tales often tell a story of good versus evil, and it usually involves magic and characters. Now, characteristics of fairy tales, it sometimes begins with once upon a time, and sometimes ends in happily ever after. Characters are often kings and queens. It takes a place in faraway places, and so on and so on. Next, I want you to list as many fairy tales as you can. And there's a reason for that you're going to find out later. But I want to know what your favorite fairy tale is and list as many as you can. And then tomorrow, I'll tell you what my favorite fairy tale is. Then you're going to go and you're going to head over to Epic and you're going to read The Three Little Pigs. Now, I know what you're saying. Miss Amanda, we are not in preschool anymore. And here's what I'm going to say. We can always look at any story and find new information. So today, you're going to look at The Three Little Pigs in a new way. So you're going to be reading The Three Little Pigs on Epic, and you're going to think about, is this story being told in first person, second, or third person point of view? Miss Amanda, how am I going to do that? It's a challenge. You got to look for those pronouns. What pronouns are they using in the book? And that's going to give you a big hint on what point of view it's from. So that's your first job. This is the traditional story of the Three Little Pigs. This is the traditional story, which means this is the fairy tale that we always hear, the Three Little Pigs. Hold that thought. Next, we're going to look at a different point of view of the same story. You're going to click on the video, The True Story of the Three Little Pigs, which is one of my absolute favorite stories. And you are going to listen to the true story of the Three Little Pigs. Then, as you're reading and listening to that, think about, is this story being told in first person, second person, or third person? Once again, look for the pronouns. What pronouns are they using? This is the fractured story of the Three Little Pigs. Now, Miss Amanda, what do you mean by fractured story? What's a fractured fairy tale? Well, when a fracture happens, we had one this year. Tate fractured his arm. It means it broke it. It means it was different. Something about that story was different. Something about his bone was different. So a fractured fairy tale is a fairy tale story that we all love and we all know, and they change it up just a little bit to retell it in a fun new way. So, may have some different characters. We could switch the good characters and the bad characters. A different setting. Make it funny, make it modern, make it more like now, newer, different events. So, we are going to look at these two stories today and determine two different points of views. And I can't wait. So, hang on. We don't want to listen to that yet. And another thought for you. I want to use a few big words for you guys today. In most good fiction stories, especially the fractured fairy tales and the fairy tales that we're going to be reading about over the next few days, you're going to see a protagonist and an antagonist. Whoa, big words. Protagonist. That's one of the main characters in the story. They are usually the hero at the end of the story. That means pro, like, yeah, they're so awesome. Look at those traits. Loyal, brave, courageous, hardworking, determined. I know every one of you holds those. The antagonist is usually the bad guy in the story. They are having some sort of conflict or some sort of problems with the protagonist, which makes it, good versus evil there. And let's look at those traits. Let me see if I can move my face over. Arrogant, foolish, rude, self-centered, mean. Ooh, greedy, lazy. Whew. Well, I hope none of you are the antagonists. So those are just a few words I wanted to just throw out there for you guys to learn and to read over. All right. Then, of course, we're doing grammar. Oh, don't forget the cops. We got to be doing that. For Write It Wednesday, today you have the task of making up a new villain or an antagonist to star in a movie. It could be a movie that you love. It could be Batman, and you make up a new villain for Batman. That is totally fine with me. It could be Frozen. I love Frozen. Not my favorite fairy tale though, so just so you know that. But could be a villain to put in there. So you're going to tell me all about that villain. I want to know their name, what the costume looks like, and I want to see quite a bit written about that villain because we might be using that villain for something else. So I hope you enjoy the fractured fairy tale today because tomorrow we're going to have another fractured fairy tale. Good luck, readers. I hope you find the point of view.